Germany's impressive display showed us why they are one of the favourites for this tournament, dominating the ball but also finding a way to penetrate Scotland's defence. Germany's 4-2-3-1 had to find a way to penetrate Scotland's 5-4-1. Germany quickly got on the score sheet and came away with a significant victory. It wasn't just in possession that Germany were impressive. They were impressive without the ball too. Scotland's back five morphed into a back three during their build-up phase, with the fullbacks pressed up the pitch looking for an outball. This didn't cause Germany any problems though, because it suited their naturally narrow attack. Havertz picked up the middle centre-back, while Gundogan picked up the deepest lying pivot. While the roles of Wirtz and Musiala were to prevent balls being played into the centre, it was also to press the wide centre-backs when they received a pass. At times this shape was much flatter because Havertz sat off the centre-back with the ball. Their angles were just tight enough to force Scotland's fullbacks to retreat to find an angle for a pass. Rather than vacate their positions in the centre and leave gaps in key areas of the pitch, the attackers held this area. And to do this, the German fullbacks were very aggressive in closing down the opposing fullback when he received the ball. Running away from goal and under pressure, the only option was a pass backwards. With Scotland's midfield too initially staggered, in the hope of playing through the lines, then became parallel as McTominay dropped back looking for the ball. This meant that if he did receive the ball, the only option was a longer ball forward. So we have just seen Scotland's build-up and how Germany stopped them. And here we have Germany's build-up. On the face of it, it looks very similar. There are 3 players behind Scotland's press. Scotland's press is very similar to Germany's. There's a centre forward and 3 attackers taking up narrow positions and prevented passes into the midfield. So why was it that Germany could progress seemingly easily? Well, the first point is that Scotland are not pressing aggressively, and instead they are actually backing off. This allows the defenders to get closer to the midfielders and therefore allow more accurate short passes. Another factor was Toni Kroos. From his starting position in the centre of midfield, where he often sat just between Scotland's forward and midfield line, he created another passing angle for the defender, and a bounce pass could often be played to disrupt Scotland's shape. What was more common though was for Kroos to move into his familiar position as a third centre-back with the ball. From here, he provided the perfect angle for a pass to the advanced fullback on the ball side, or a switch to the opposite fullback. This played a part in Germany's second goal. Scotland are not pressing the ball, so Kroos picked up space in front of their midfield line, but this time instead of switching play to the advancing Kimmich, his perfectly weighted pass to Gundogan sees Germany get behind Scotland's back line easily. As we know, Nagelsmann's teams like to keep a narrow shape and play the ball centrally as much as possible through the lines. The central channels are also used in a ploy to open up spaces on the wings. The front trio dropped between the lines and losing the game Scotland press. This left space in the wide areas where Havertz could drift over and combine with the advanced fullback to create a 2 versus 1. It didn't matter if the 3 attacking midfielders were dropping back or moving up, they were finding the tightest of spaces between Scotland's defence. Scotland's lack of a staggered defensive midfield structure, forcing Germany to play back, meant that things were easy for Germany. A common feature of the first half was Toni Kroos finding time and space to bring the ball forwards where he could thread passes to Gundogan, Wirtz or Musiala. There was then space for the fullbacks to receive a pass in the final third. The build-up has one goal: to control the ball and reach the final third, which they did in even proportions on both sides and through the centre. Through the centre, the attacking quartet rotated positions, causing all sorts of problems. As one attacker drops to pick up a pass through the lines, another attacker rotates around to receive the ball facing the goal, an ideal position. He then has the option of playing a pass between the centre-back and the fullback. The fullback was often in space because Germany's central overload caused this. Completing 99% of his 102 passes accurately, Toni Kroos was a key factor in this victory. Drifting between Scotland's attack and midfield lines, he provided the angle to pass into the fullback on his side, and also switched the ball to the fullback on the other side. Moving back and forth between the midfield and defence, Scotland didn't know what to do with him, and often stood off him, giving him space and time. Here, Scotland are not sure what to do with him. His long diagonal switch of play is the catalyst for the first goal. Receiving the ball here, he doesn't panic, he keeps the ball moving by playing it to a free player. His position as a defensive midfielder also saw him be in the right place to defend and stop any transitions by winning the ball back from his intelligent positioning.